Every empire swears its money is safe. Every era tells the same story. Every empire says our money is a safe haven. Every government promises we will stand forever. And every time history waits silently because it has heard those promises hundreds of times before. That same confidence existed when Rome fell. Before the French Revolution, they were filled with the same self-assurance. In Lebanon, just a few years ago, people said, "Our bank will never collapse." Then one morning, everyone witnessed the same truth. They woke up, their bank accounts were still there, but their money could no longer buy anything. Their salaries were higher in numbers, but worthless in value. Years of savings had evaporated, and then people realized the painful truth. Systems built on trust disappear when that trust is gone. Collapse is not a rare event. Collapse is the seismic wave of humanity. The real question is not whether systems collapse. The real question is what you will do when they do. Money is not rock. Money is only trust. We all make the same mistake. We look at our bank accounts and say, "I'm safe for the future." But the truth is this: money is not stone. Money is just a promise, a record, a number. It's a relationship of trust, and that trust can vanish overnight. That's why history is both merciless and an incredibly valuable teacher. Every collapse leaves traces behind: who survived, who disappeared, what retained value, what lost it. And always the same conclusion emerges. Those who survive disasters are not the ones who trusted most, but the ones who doubted first. Lesson 1 from Byzantium: even pure gold may not be safe. Byzantium endured for 1,000 years after Western Rome faded into the dust of history. One of the main reasons was its pure gold coin, the solidus. It was so reliable that from Europe to Asia, everyone used the Roman gold coin in trade. For centuries, it was like the world's reserve currency. But over time, its rulers made the same old mistake. They decided to reduce the purity of the gold, to mix it with cheaper metals. Who will notice? They thought. Guess what happened? Soon everyone noticed. The solidus, once a symbol of trust, became just another story. Traders refused it, the economy trembled, even mighty Byzantium weakened. Yet there were a few, the skeptical ones, who quietly prepared. They hid real gold, they held and protected land, and they survived. The first lesson is hidden here. States cannot resist creating more money. The more they print, the less it's worth. And when that happens, people stop using it. The Black Death, the beginning of the end or a turning point. Not every collapse comes from government mistakes. Sometimes disaster strikes from places no government prepared for. In 1347, the Black Death swept across Europe. Within years, half the population was gone. Villages emptied, cities slowed, trade stopped. But something extraordinary happened. Those who survived became valuable. Labor was scarce, so those who could work became precious. Wages rose, abandoned lands became cheap, and life evolved toward a new balance. Sound familiar? During COVID, we saw the same pattern. Many lost everything, while those who had liquidity seized opportunities. Housing prices soared, stock markets recovered, and wage earners were squeezed. History repeats in rhythm. Crises reward the prepared, they punish the unready. Florence, the myth of too big to fail. In the 1340s, Florence was the financial heart of Europe. The noble Bardi and Peruzzi families lent money to kings until the King of England couldn't repay his debts. Then everything collapsed. Banks stopped lending. People didn't lose their savings, but their money lost its value. Florence and its people learned a harsh lesson for the first time. No institution is too big to fail. The wealthy protect their own interests, not yours. And when they begin to lose, they will drag you down with them. The American Civil War, the death of paper money. The war was not fought with bullets alone. Money became a weapon too. Both the North and the South printed money like mad. And what happened? The same story again. Paper money melted away, prices soared, wages vanished. You needed bags of banknotes just to buy bread, and people realized something crucial. True protection wasn't in the paper in their wallets. It was in tangible assets, in gold, in land, in food. France, revolution, paper, and hunger. In the 1790s, France was burning with revolution. They said, "We're entering a new era," and started printing new money, the assignat. And they kept printing more and more. Soon, everyone knew that money was just paper. Farmers started saying, "Don't bring money, bring wheat." Bread riots erupted again, and the revolution devoured itself with the very money it had printed. What did history teach us? Paper without faith is just a stain of ink. The Asian crisis, the cost of borrowing in someone else's currency. In 1997, a small economic tremor in Thailand shook all of Asia. Countries trusted their dollar debts. When the exchange systems collapsed, everything fell like dominoes. Unemployment, bankruptcy, despair. But those who held dollars or had investments abroad, they survived. Those whose assets were only domestic, they sank. A simple rule: to never rely on someone else's currency. When the storm comes, it's not the lender who drowns, it's the borrower. Modern times. Same movie, new actors. Do you think today is different? Never. In Lebanon, banks closed. People couldn't access their own money. In 2008, banks failed. Homeowners with mortgages lost their homes. In 2020, during the pandemic, trillions were printed. Asset owners grew richer while wage earners shrank. Same story, different era. The lesson is clear. Money in the bank is not treasure. The money you don't control is just a loan you've given to an institution. And when crisis comes, that institution can simply say, "I have no money." So, what should you do when everything collapses? History doesn't have one single answer, but thousands of examples say the same thing. Find real value for your time. In Byzantium, it was gold. During the Black Death, liquidity. In Florence, caution. In the Confederacy, land. In France, food. In Asia, debt freedom. In Lebanon, timeless awareness. The common thread in all: lean on reality, not paper. Collapse is not just disaster. For the prepared, it's opportunity. After the plague, peasants became landowners. In 2008, those with cash bought homes cheaply. And history whispers, survival is not just defense. It's the ability to act at the right moment. Final word. Do you hold real value? History doesn't repeat, but it punishes the forgetful. So ask yourself, when that day comes, will you hold promises or something real? Do you have gold, land, skills, the power to produce? Or are you trusting only in the hope that the system won't collapse? Because one thing is certain, everything collapses, but not everyone sinks. The prepared rise from the ruins. And history always says the same thing. Trust is easy, but only the skeptical survive.